Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm James Holland. If you are new here, but you're not, welcome back. Thanks for making the trek over from wherever it is that you came from. Today we're gonna be taking a look at some of my favorite makeup products of 2019. 2020 is right around the corner. We made it, we survived another year.
God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
What we're gonna do is take a look at some of my favorite makeup launches, makeup products, makeup releases of 2019. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will try not to yell at the camera today. Are you ready? It's gonna be a good one. Hold on your brushes, it's makeup time. Okay, so let's talk for a little bit about 2019. 2019 was a big year for me. It was the year that I kind of got into makeup. So a little bit of backstory on my makeup journey. I love when people say that, makeup journey.
No one says that.
Okay, so I got into makeup earlier this year. I was actually going to a party and I had seen a picture of Cody Fern at an award show, and he was wearing like this dark reddish brown monochromatic look all over his eye, and I was like, this is really cool. It's kind of like a cool idea to do for this party. So I went into Sephora. I had never been into a Sephora before. So I went in and I was like completely overwhelmed. Completely lost, and the worker there was so helpful. I showed her the picture of Cody Fern and I was like, I want to do this for a party, and she actually brought me over to Anastasia Beverly Hills, and she was like, this is the closest we're gonna get, and she gave me a single shade. It's right here. It's this color here. It's Brick. And so this was the very first makeup product that I ever got. So it was the very first thing that I ever had. We know Anastasia Beverly Hills has great shades, so that was kind of my first foray into makeup. So I went home with that first initial shade when I got it, and I put it on my eyes, and you can see that image on my Instagram of the very first time I ever did makeup. It's kind of a full mess, but you know, she was there, she did it, period. So yeah, that was kind of like my deal with makeup. And so it's been like a wild ride this year, man. It has been crazy. The response that I've gotten from my makeup has been incredible. The support that I've gotten has been incredible. I'm so thankful for everyone that has supported me, everyone that has shown me everything that I'm doing wrong and everything that I'm doing right and helped me on my journey. And so many of you have given me so many good tips and advice, and now I get to do that for somebody else, and I'm so thankful. So let's get into some of my favorite product launches of 2019. I thought about doing like a best and worst of 2019, but I recently decluttered a lot and threw a lot of stuff out, and I gave a lot of stuff to family members, to nieces, donated it. So I don't have a lot of the products that I was like, this is not a good product, because it's gone. She gone, she out of here. If you saw my clutter now, world's better than it was, but it's still bad. But anyway, so I'm just gonna show you, my favorite things that launched this year. The first product I wanna talk about is the Pat McGrath setting powder. I have light 1, I also have light medium 2. Light 1, this is such a beautiful setting powder. I have an issue with setting powders. So many setting powders make me look cakey, make me look crusty, dusty, like sink into all your pores, all your problem areas. Nobody likes that. But this is the first one that I found that doesn't do that. It's a little pricey, but I honestly feel like it is a fantastic addition to your makeup collection. So this is a good like holiday gift if you want to ask for it for holidays, or if you have like some extra money, or if Sephora's having a sale. This is a great product to get because it doesn't settle really into your fine lines. It doesn't look cakey or crusty. I mean, you see the skin?
Gay rights forever.
The other setting powder, she dirty. This is the Becca Hydra Mist. There I am. Hi. Hi. This is another great setting powder. This is perfect for under your eyes. So many people use it for all over their face. I use it for under my eyes. So I'm old. I am 30 years old. I have under eye lines. I have smile lines when I smile because I've had a very fun life. So I need something that's not gonna settle into those lines, but also is gonna keep my concealer from caking. This setting powder is amazing because it's spilled everywhere, but it feels wet, it feels hydrating while still being a powder. It's the weirdest feeling. It's like a wet powder. That's kind of the best description that I can give you. It does a fantastic job of making sure that nothing is creasing or caking and you really can't see a lot of the fine lines that I'm worried about being an old man and, you know, almost over the hill. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about... Okay, so the third product we want to talk about is the Kevyn Aucoin Contour Book Volume 3. I have used this so much. You do not have to get this palette. This palette is perfect if you are a makeup artist and are using it in your kits. You do not have to get this entire palette, but this blush is gorgeous. And then these highlighters are also gorgeous. This palette has gone with me everywhere. I use the medium and the light to do my contour. You all know that I contour pretty heavily on like my cheekbones. I don't normally have crazy cheekbones, but I like a heavy contour. So I have that. And then I also have, you know, the tiny ones. So you don't have to get the whole book if you just want the contour powder. You can just get the contour powder. Again, this is a little bit more pricey, but it's worth it. It is perfectly cool tone. So I have a problem because I'm very cool tone. I'm very pink. I have a problem finding products that aren't yellow and that aren't too red or warm tone. And especially with contours, a lot of the contours that have come out are really warm toned, and that's wonderful for somebody with warm toned skin, but us cool tone folks, we're like, we can't wear this, it just looks like bronzer. So you need something that really creates a shadow, because contour is going to create shadow. And these do that for me. They're very cool tone. It creates a shadow. That's number 3. Let's keep going. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about foundation. The 2 foundations that I loved this year were the Urban Decay Stay Naked She Dirty. Ooh, clean your life up. The Stay Naked foundation and also the Dior Backstage Face and Body foundation. I use these 2 kind of like interchangeably. So sometimes I will use the Urban Decay and then sometimes I will use the Dior. I'm wearing the Dior right now. It just depends on what I want. Both of them are great with shade ranges. Why am I doing that? Both of them have really great shade ranges, and also their cool tones are not yellow. A lot of foundation launches this year. Yeah, there were quite a few. Some were cute, and then some were not so cute. I figured out what works best for my skin, and that has helped me. So not every foundation works for every skin type, and that's fine, and that's normal, and you know, yeah. But the problem mainly with these foundation launches were a lot of the foundation launches, all their cool tones were still pretty yellow, and that's an issue, right? I'm not yellow. I'm not warm toned. I am cool toned, so I need something that's a little pink, but I don't want something that's like pink. Like I don't want something that's like this color. And sometimes you get that with cool tones. You'll like put it on and you're like, why do I look like this? It's not cute. The Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer also works really well. It's also not too pink. A lot of concealers, you get that same pink shift and then you put it on and you're like, oh my God, I'm turning pink. But there were a lot of really great foundation launches this year, and there are a million great ones out there. I've reviewed several of them that have come out. You can check those out, obviously, on my channel. But these are the 2 that I've kind of like just fell in love with. I'm in love with, you know, everything about them. So that's that on that. That's on a Pidgeot. Okay, moving on. Palettes, because that's all that people really want to talk about, right? What is your favorite palette? What's your favorite palette this year? I have several. So I have them all stacked right here nicely, and I'm gonna go through them and talk about each one and why I love it. So the first one I want to talk about, obviously, is the Jackie Aina palette. I love this palette. It's a beautiful palette. It has such a beautiful color story. I just loved everything about this palette. I was able to use several of these shades for bronzers, for blush. I can't say enough good things about this palette. I like this palette. Anastasia ABH came up with a lot of palettes this year. This is definitely one of the top for me. The other one that I I really liked this year from ABH was the Norvina Volume 2. Now, I loved all 3 Norvina palettes. I thought they all brought something different and new to the table. I know by the time they came out, we were like super overwhelmed with palettes. We were like, no more palettes, please, 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 please. And it was fine. We got over it. They haven't released a palette since those mini palettes. So, you know, I think we've made it to 2020 on ABH palettes. But this one really is beautiful. I wanted a blue-green palette, and this kind of gave me that fantasy. All of my Norvina palettes are just kind of like stacked right here, whereas most of my other palettes are like away. These palettes are here because I'll put all 3 out and just kind of like do on stuff. But the second one is really a beautiful palette. So if you're looking for which Norvina palette to get, my favorite is Volume 2. A lot of people's favorite is Volume 3. I think it just depends on which season you're in. But this one, I don't have another palette that has a lot of blues and greens like this in a palette. The next one I want to talk about is the KKW Matte Book. This is one of my favorites. And you guys know that I love mattes. I'm wearing an all matte eye right now. I normally play with mattes. I don't normally play with a lot of shimmers. Every once in a while I'll put a shimmer somewhere. But I love for the everyday look like this, I'll wear just a matte book. So this is using this palette here. It's honestly a gorgeous palette. I love the blue shade here, but everything in here is so buildable. It's so blendable. I had no complaints. I reviewed this palette on my channel, so you can check that out up top. I will link that. Are you tired of me linking stuff? I'll link it, and you can check it out. I like this one a lot. There was also another matte palette that came with this collection, but the smoke is just, you know I love a black. This black is so beautiful, which I can't say for some other black shades in some other palettes.
You know what? We didn't say that.
This one's a really great one. So that was there. So we've got Jackie Aina, we've got Norvina Volume 2, we have the matte book, we have also Strawberry Dreams. Strawberry Dreams was such a good palette. Should I do ASMR? I love Strawberry Dreams so much. No, I really do like this palette. Manny did a fantastic job. This was the summer launch for Manny. It is beautiful. You've got the pinks, the blues. You've got this middle range here that is just stunning. There's a lot of pinks and reds and purples that I hadn't seen before in other palettes. It blends beautifully. It does stain your eyelids a little bit, as do most pressed pigments. But like, especially this shade, the sunset. Look at that. It's such a pretty color. It like matches the backdrop. Manny also had several other good launches. His Moonspell palette launch was a great palette as well. But this one just, I always go back to it. It's such a beautiful color story, and it was something we hadn't seen yet from Manny, so I was really, really excited about it. Okay, the next one is the Hip Dot L palette. You guys know that I love Hip Dot. You know that I am a big fan of theirs. They are very supportive of smaller artists, and they have had several great launches this year. They had the Opulence palette, they had L palette, they had the Napa palette, they had Kesha Rose, they had Hip Dot X SpongeBob. They had so many great palette launches. This is the one that is my favorite. It's a wonderful, beautiful neutral palette. This has kind of replaced for me most of my other neutral palettes. Really do a lot with all the colors, and you still have those glitter shades if you want to do a little glitter moment, if you're looking to have regrets a year from now when you find that in your clothes. Did a tutorial on a look, and I used this palette. If you want to check that out, you know, find it on my channel. Should I link it, or are you tired of me linking things? And those were kind of my favorite, you know, eyeshadow launches. Others weren't fantastic and wonderful and amazing. There were so many great palettes this year. We were like overloaded with palettes. They were like shoving them down our throats. You know, I'm looking forward to 2020 and hoping that we don't see a lot more eyeshadow palettes. I hope that we see some other products. I hope that we see bronzers and blushes and other things like that, because I feel like I've got every color under the sun now. You know, I feel like we need a break from eyeshadow palettes. Of course, after the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow launches that come out after Christmas, I think we need a break from eyeshadow palettes. Please, just for like a month or two, maybe. so that we can relax and, you know, move on to other products. There are other makeup products, not just eyeshadow palettes. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so the next product that is one of my faves this year was the eyeliner from Haus Labs. This is such a dark eyeliner. It's one of my go-to eyeliners. I've used a ton of eyeliners. I don't necessarily like liquid eyeliners because I have hooded lids and that can end up causing me issues. You can get a lot of transfer. So there were other good eyeliners that just didn't work out for me, which is why I really like this Haus Lab. There was really no feathering. Haus Labs, you know, and I have got a tumultuous past now. Just because there are certain products that I think are wonderful and certain products that don't necessarily hit the mark. But this is one of the ones that I think they did a really good job with, was the eyeliner. So good on you, Lady Gaga. And that brings us to highlighter.
This is it. This is a big one. This is for the girls, this one.
One of my favorite products of 2019 was, of course, the Jaclyn Hill highlighter. This, like I said before, should have been her first launch. This is a fantastic product. These shades are all so beautiful. There's also a flare palette for those with darker skin tones than I have. I love you. If I could marry a highlighter, I would marry this one. I do. That's such a weirdo. Okay, so that's pretty much my favorites for this year. There are a couple honorable mentions. I really like the Becca Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. This is beautiful for making sure that your fine lines don't show, making sure that everything looks nice and smooth down there. Another great product was the Patrick Ta She's Passionate Blush. All of Patrick Ta's launches this year have been really great, but I really do enjoy their blush. Their Precision Lip Crayon, I'm wearing that right now. It's another great product. He did a really great job with, first of all, his packaging on everything, and second of all, just the quality of everything is fantastic. A lot of my favorites come from the second half of the year just because I feel like I understood more about makeup and could make educated decisions. In the beginning of the year and even up until, you know, a while ago, I felt like I had to buy everything. Just because you hear from other people and they're like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Oh my God, it's changed my life. And then you try it and you're like, really? Like, this is not working for me. So I understand that not everything works for everyone, but let's go into 2020 being careful about what we recommend.
Does that sound like something you want?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it.
I think the culture of like everything is amazing and we have to get everything is kind of something that I want to leave in 2019. You don't have to get everything, absolutely not. I try on this channel to get as much as possible just to show you guys and review it because I like reviewing products. That's what I like doing. Obviously, I like playing with new things. You do not have to get everything that I recommend, and I'll try to always be honest and truthful and be like, hey, this one doesn't really work. I don't really like it that well. It's whatever. And I think if you watch my channel, you see that I'm pretty honest to the detriment of myself sometimes when it comes to products. I'm always gonna try to give you my honest feedback of these things because not everything is the most amazing thing in the world. It's just not. That's not how life works. And not everything is gonna work for everyone. So these are my recommendations for products that you should get leaving 2019 and going into 2020. Let me know if I missed something. If I left something off the list, put it down below in the comments and let me know what was your favorite makeup product of 2019 because I want to see and I want to go buy some more things. Listen, I know there's a million other things you can be doing, so I really appreciate you guys coming and just hanging out with me and talking, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some ideas for things that you may want to pick up, and I really am so thankful for all the love that you guys have shown me this year. It's honestly just been an amazing roller coaster of an experience, and I'm so thankful for you guys and everything that you do. This family to me is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.